Okay, so when you think of the word statistics, what comes to mind? Have you ever heard of the don't be a statistic? Like if something were to happen to you, don't be a statistic. Um, Anybody want to like say like what comes to mind when you hear the word stats? Numbers, a bunch of numbers. Yeah. Graphs. Okay. Where do the numbers come from? Just collect. It's being collected somehow. Why would you collect data? Why would they do that to us? Like our phones, they track averages. Do you think that what do you think the division keeps track of? Our school division. They keep track of attendance every school. The superintendent, I'm sure, has like a massive like spreadsheet. It's like, oh, Sisler on average, 88% attendance, right? And then let's go over to this high school. There's like 70% attendance. So they're keeping track of that. They're keeping track of lates. I can guarantee you that. Are they necessarily going to do something about it? I'm not sure, but they're keeping track of that, right? Businesses, your phone is the biggest data collector ever. Like they literally give you a little machine that allows companies to collect data on you daily, right? Every time you tap, how often do you open the app? What times of the day do you open the app? And you're agreeing to it. Often, me too. I'm just like scroll down, like agree. I want the app, right? So sometimes we agree to that. But all the numbers make no sense unless you interpret it. Once you organize it and arrange it, oh wait a minute, most teenagers between 14 and 17 are on their phones mostly from this hour to this hour, right? Hopefully not doing math class, right? But they keep track of that, they can organize that, right? And so soon, very soon, I believe the technology is out already. They're even going to track where your eyes are looking on the screen. There's already the technology for students with disabilities. They can't like verbally say what they want. They can just look on the screen what they want, and then like the people helping, they're like, oh, you want to go for a walk around the school? Let's do it, right? And so it's already being used. You might even take a picture, like recognize that you're not happy right now. And so the ads might be like tailored to you. It's like you're in a sad state. Let's do something about that. But anyways, that's I think going a little bit outside the scope of this unit. But yeah, we're gonna talk about that. So a statistic, some of you are gonna take that in university. Okay, if you're taking University 1, which is just a bunch of general courses, often statistics is like the math requirement that you need. So I believe that even nursing, if you go into nursing, you need, right, statistics as part of it, or any sciences. You need to be able to read data and understand it, okay? So it is a branch in applied mathematics that involves the collection, description, analysis, and inference of conclusions from data you've collected. That's what statistics aims to do, right? So these X's here, these could have just been like scattered data that you collected, and all of a sudden you organize it into this, right? Now we're like, oh, wait a minute. A lot of students were in the 50s and 30s in Mr. Dirkson's class. What's up with that, right? Maybe we need to hire another teacher or something like that, right? Like, but this tells us way more than just a bunch of random numbers. So let's go to page 3. And the first thing we will aim to do is to kind of find the middle. Okay, this is page 3. So we have 3 main ways to do so. And this is called the measures of some kind of tendency. And I'm going to highlight central with a different color. What do you think of when you hear the word central? The middle, the center. I'm going to go middle. Okay, measures of central tendencies. Okay, And there are three in mathematics. There is the arithmetic mean. This is the average that you grew up calculating a bunch of times. Then there's the median, and then there's the mode. Okay, so mean, median, mode. Why am I not just sticking with mean? Why arithmetic? Because later on I'm gonna introduce you to two different kinds of means. Okay, so that's why we're sticking with arithmetic mean. A measure, a central tendency, would be essentially a number where the data clusters, the set of data clusters. Okay. So we're trying to find a value. Sometimes if they're not all the same, they're going to be close. If they're not close to each other, there's something wrong. Okay, something is off with that data set. The most common, right? The most common is the arithmetic mean, which is called the average in everyday language. Okay. The arithmetic mean has the symbol. So the arithmetic mean has the symbol x with a bar on top. Okay. And I think you all know that it is found by adding all the values in a data set and dividing it by the sum of the number of values. Whoa, what is that saying? Well, it's summarizing what's here in words, of course. The sum of all values, sum means add them all up, the addition of all numbers, and then divided by the number of values present. Okay. Here is something very important to remember, is make sure you include units, and it's okay to round to 2 decimals, even though sometimes you might be like, wait a minute, what does it mean with a family on average has 1.7 devices at home? Like, what does that mean? Well, it could be that in Canada it's 1.7, and in a different country like the US, it could be 1.9 devices per family, right? So we kind of use the average to kind of just tell us a little bit of what's the general trend, who's using more. So that's the arithmetic mean for you there. And we're going to put this to the test right now. Patrick earned the following amounts over the period of 6 months. Okay, so we're tracking only 6 months here, January to June. And here it is. So January 1500, 2300, 2200, 800, 2000, 2100. So I don't know if something sticks out to you at this point, but we'll analyze it and figure stuff out. It says calculate his average monthly income. So I'm okay you using that X bar thing, notation, symbol. 1500 plus 2300. So this I don't need you to show me down the road, but maybe it's probably a good idea to have this for one of the questions, right? So you add it all up. And then we will divide it by, we added up 6 numbers, so we divide it by 6. And let's make another line here. If you add all of this up, you get 10,900. What units would be associated with the top values? It's our income, right? So we have dollars divided by, the 6 would stand for, in this case, months. All right. So when you divide 10,900 by 6 months, it's 18, 16, 67. Right? So 18, 16, 67, you're making this much per month. And why would you want to know the average? Well, sometimes for budgeting reasons, remember in grade 11 budgeting, I don't know if you did the budget unit, you need to kind of know how much to expect per month, even though some months you're going to be making more, some months you're going to be making less, right? You could be a seasonal worker, right? There's certain seasons, right? Like if you're working for, I don't know, I'm thinking like a circus or, right? Or any like a summer, like a business that only runs during the summer, you might have lots of money in the summer coming in and then not so much later on. You kind of have to spread it out because bills come on a monthly basis, right? So here's the average monthly income, okay? Let's graph this right here. Do you remember bar graphs? Yeah, fun unit, wasn't it? A lot of students love it and some hated it, right? So let's go January, and it says that we made 1,500 first month, right? So just make a bar. We'll make it 2 boxes wide. So I'm going to go find 1,500. That's going to be about halfway between the 2,000 and the 1,000 mark. So I'm just going to cut it right here like this. You don't need a ruler. It doesn't have to be that pretty. But that would be $1,500 in January, right? And if you'd like to write down 1,500 on top, that's fine. February, you made 2,300. So I'm kind of going to follow. This is 2,000. What's the scale here? Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 boxes. So every box is worth 200, right? Because it's 1,000 difference. So this would be 2,200, 2,300 is right about there. It doesn't have to be exact, okay? This is just to kind of see what's happening. You want me to zoom into that graph? I will. There you go. And then March, we had 2,200. So this is just slightly under right there. $2,200. And then the next month we had 800. What happened there? April, 800. So I'm just going to go to the 1,000 mark, go 1 down. This is the 800 line. And then May, we have 2,000. I'm just going to match it up. $2,000, and then we have 2,100 in June. There we go. You see a month that would be considered, have you ever talked about outliers? They lie outside of the norm. You can clearly tell that 800 is probably would be an outlier, a not normal month, right? So we're going to talk about that in a bit. And remember, if I ever ask you to do graphs, right, we label our axes. Quite frankly, you're not going to be doing a whole lot of graphs in this. You're going to do a number line in a bit, but that's about as much graphing as you will do. And if I will set it up like this for you, right? Okay, so if that's your graph, I'm going to zoom out again. And I want you to highlight this little box here, which talks about outliers. It could be an outlier or outliers. And those would be considered values that are significantly different than the general trend. Okay, So if you're highlighting, so values that are quite different than what you observe elsewhere. If you want to look at it a different way, they lie outside the set. Okay. There can be more than one. That's probably worth mentioning that there could be more than one. Can be more than one. One or more, I should say. If you have a ruler, if you don't, that's fine. Use whatever you can to. What I will show here is I want the 1816, like the average we calculated, to show up here. So that's about, if you go to 2000, if you just go down to the line right underneath it, that's about the 1800 line. Okay, and I'm just gonna make my, so this is on the graph. This is the average, which is 1816.67. So we can visually see, right, that how many months do I make more than my average? It's easy to see, right? 4. And 2 months I make less than my average. It's a lot easier to see this way, isn't it? Than if you just look at the numbers. I mean, it could be that some of you are really good at just looking numbers and figuring it out, in which case you should become an accountant. Some accountants in here? Anybody taking accounting, maybe? Okay. Let me know if you become one, because then you do my taxes, okay? For like a nice rate, you know, family and friends rate kind of thing. Anyways, identify any outliers. I'm just gonna say $800 during the month of April is different than most months. And I'm not gonna lie to you, this question was inspired by COVID. Right? Remember March? We were only gonna be away for 2 weeks and then we're gonna come back, right? What happened right after? A lot of people got laid off until the government kind of figured out a way to pay people, right, for staying home. So I'm thinking, you know, April might have been an anomaly. It's not quite normal. So sometimes I will ask you, why do you think there's an outlier? Why do you think you can say illness, right? That Patrick got sick, maybe. Maybe Patrick is self-employed and went on vacation. If you're self-employed, nobody pays your vacation, right? You just don't make money. You could be laid off, right? Layoffs, or you could have just plainly lost his job. Things like that. Just use the context to explain why an outlier may have been. So if it's a company and there's like a keeping track of the hours worked every day, and all of a sudden you see way more hours worked. Oh, maybe they got a special order coming in, really big order, so they needed to work longer. So outliers could be on the low end, it could be on the high end. Okay. All right. Let's go to page 4. I'm going to take a 2-minute break to do the attendance. Can you read this little blurb here, and as well as this little box? Just read that, and I will summarize that. Memories, right? So the next two are median and mode. Okay. Go to page 4, median mode. What is the median? The median is the middle value of the data set. It's a bit blurry, isn't it? I would say you have to, numbers are listed in ascending or descending order, meaning like you should arrange it. Okay. And I will address this part here, but I would like you to highlight that. And I'm going to use a different color. Okay. If you have an even number of values, then the median is the average of the two middle numbers. Maybe I should even do something like this. This paragraph. This paragraph kind of is important to recognize. And another thing about the median, guys, is this part right here. Highlight that half of the values are higher and half of the values are lower when you're finding the median, because it's the middle, right? Median is the middle, so naturally you should have that. I'm trying to say that because if you don't, then you're in trouble. Okay? There are two cases that I'm going to split the median into: odd and even. Okay? Odd and even. So make sure you follow along on this one. It's not that hard if you just know what you're supposed to do. And I will show you a trick as well. First, arrange set in ascending or descending order. I'm not gonna lie to you, I will do all of my examples in ascending order, which means I'm gonna go from smallest to the largest. That's what I'm gonna do every single time. But you can choose to do it the other way and descending. So if you have an odd number of values, just pick the middle value. Okay? You must have an equal number of values on either side. So this is how I want you to think when you see a data set. First, I want you to be like, is it arranged? Is this arranged from smallest to largest? Check. Okay, one less thing to worry about here. How many values do I have? 2, 4, 5 values. 5 values. This is odd. Okay. So there will just be one number that is the median, which is this one right here. That's my median. So I will say median is equal to 6 units, because we don't know what these numbers stand for. So half of the values are less, half of them are greater. Next, if it's even. So the first thing you need to ask is arranged. And is this arranged? 2, 3, 6, 10, 12, 50? Yes. Okay. How many values? 6 values. Which should tell you, hey, that's even. Which means, right, find average of middle values. Is that too small? Find average of middle values. Write it like this because I want the room in the side here to do a little bit of extra later on. So my middle values would be these two. So I will merge these and I will say that median is 6 plus 10 divided by 2. What's the answer to that, by the way? 8. It's 8? But Mr. Dirksen, watch. 6 plus 10 divided by 2 is 11. You told me it's 8. Calculator will divide this before adding, right? So you need to make sure you first do the top. You first add, right? 6 plus 10 is 8. 6 plus 10 is 16 divided by 2 is 8 units. how would you have known, how else would you have known that 11 cannot be the median? Where's 11 in my data set? Right here, correct? You would have 4 below it, 2 above it. But what do I keep on saying? It's the same amount on either side, right? So there's many ways to catch yourself. I have like 20 plus of you that can catch my mistake, so I have that advantage. Right? Anyways, here's the trick, guys, because let's be honest, I could have given you 20 numbers, and then it's a little bit trickier to find the median. So, you ready for the cheat code? This is the trick. We go 5 divided by 2, so 5 values divided by 2. What does that give me? 2.5. We all know that there isn't a 2.5 number, right? So you round it to the third. This is going to be your median. The third value is going to be your median. Let's put that to the test. Let's go over here. 1, 2, 3, isn't it? It's the third. This is the third value. So I'm going to make it. If this is too much for you, don't do it, but I will just do one of these. That's how I could find it, just like that. Okay? That's the trick. You have to remember that when it's odd, there is only one value. No need to add and divide, right? What's going to be the trick on this one? So I'm going to block this a bit. Trick. How many values? 6 values. Divided by 2 again. Can I do something here? Go back up. I'm just going to make sure you understand we have an odd number of values here. Here we have even. You know, right, that I'm going to have to add 2 numbers and divide it by 2 to get my median in this case, right? We know that already. So when you go 6 divided by 2, let's put brackets here. 6 divided by 2 is 3, right? So you're going to have to add the third and the one that's right next to it, the fourth. Third and fourth together and divide that by 2 to get your median. So 6 divided by 2 is just to help you where to start. In this case, it's the third and the fourth. So let's put that to the test. Did we do that here? 1, 2, 3. This is the third and this is the fourth. So I'm going to go third and fourth. Okay. I don't know how to do this one with highlighters. I think it's going to be too messy. But we added the third and the fourth, divided it by 2, and that's how we got our median. Okay? So you're just going to have to remember that. These are just tricks, right? Tricks of the trade. You'll not find them in any textbook. Okay, so you just have to kind of use it if you like it, and if you just want to guess, sure. You just have to remember, let's say you have 51 values, let's say. You know it's odd, you know that there's only one number. So you're just gonna have to pick one that sort of is in the middle, and then make sure you have the same amount of values to either side of that. Then you're also gonna get there, right? So you don't have to use my tricks. You can just do whatever works for you. Okay, I want you to find the median for both of these data sets down here. And don't be surprised if some of the answers are the same. It's not, you're not wrong. Okay, but find the median for both of these, and I will take it back and didn't know. Anyways, here we go. So you try, you were supposed to have tried. So we go, is this arranged? Yep. So it's good. And we count 2, 4, 6, 7. So 7 values. I'm going to use my trick, okay? 7 values divided by 2 would be 3.5. Obviously, we can't have a 3.5 value, place value, so it's going to be the fourth number, okay? So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the fourth. So the median is just 6 units. That's it. Should I just say this is odd, right? Odd. And then here, is this arranged? Yes, it is. 2, 4, 6, 8. So I have 8 values. That's even. Oh, what did I do there? Sorry. I'm going to divide that and divide by 2. But you need to remember, you're going to add 2 numbers and divide it by 2. So the 8 divided by 2 is, right, telling you that you need to take the fourth and the fifth, add them, and then divide it by 2. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth, right? So this is the fourth and the fifth. So it's between these two that the median is going to be found. Okay, so I like you to say it this way. Median is going to be 6 plus 10 divided by 2. Hey, it's 8 again, right? I know. The point was now making sure that you understand that the trick always works. So the fourth and the fifth number are involved here. And if you think about it, 8 is right here. So you've got 4 above it and 4 below it. You know you did it right. Okay. We're quite certain, by the way. Let's keep going. So now we're going to talk mode. And then the rest of the class, I'm probably going to just let you try it with some negatives as well. Okay. Okay, page 5. The mode is a set of numbers. Of a set of numbers is the number that occurs most often, the most popular. Okay. A complete aside. Does mode mean something in French? Mode. Is that like fashion or something? No? No. It's in Spanish. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to go there. In German, this word means fashionable or fashion, right? So I always think of it, oh, the ones that's most popular, it's fashion, it's most in right now. But you don't speak German most likely, so never mind. That won't help at all. I was gonna try to use French for it. So you can have no mode, one mode, or a number of modes. Okay, and I'm gonna give you some examples. So here they are. So if each number appears the same number of times, there's no mode. So let's say you have this 2, 2, 3, 3, 5, 5, 11, 11, 20, 20. So it's arranged, as you can tell. But you notice that, oh, there's 2 2s, 2 3s. So every number in this set appears twice. That's a no mode situation. If they all appear just once, no mode situation. If every single number appeared 3 times, no mode. I hope you understand what I'm trying to get at. So the mode is NA or none. This is a common error. Mode is 0. A lot of students say, hey, mode is 0. This is incorrect, because then you're telling me that 0 is the number that occurs most often. All right? That would not be correct in this case. Okay, one mode. So one mode is when there's just one that's the most popular. So 2 2, 3 3, 7 7 7, 9 11, 17. You look and 7 shows up 3 times. So that is the one that appears most often. There's just one mode. So mode is 7 units. Simple as that. And I can get pretty tricky with these ones. So be warned, okay? A number of modes, let's say you have 2, 2, 2, 3, 5, 7, 18, 20, 20, 20. And let's do one more just for fun, 81. Oh, I'm going to do one more because I'm trying to do something else after. What would be your mode here? Well, 2 shows up 3 times, so does 20. So you have 2 modes here. So mode would be 2, comma 20 units. That's it. What would be your median here for this one? What's the median for this one? Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Oh, it's even. You don't have to write this down. We'll just do a quick. So median, unless of course you want to. I'm going to say, how many did I say? 12, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I'm going to go 12 divided by 2. That's going to tell me that it's the 6th and the 7th value divided by 2. 6 and 7. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's going to be between these two. 7 and 18 is 25 divided by 2, 12.5. Right? So it would be 12.5 would be the median here. But let's not do it because you're going to get a chance to practice in a bit. Okay. By the way, did I say that up here? I will make a note here. Note. Make sure you write this down. Mode is not always a good measure a good measure of central tendency. Not always in the middle. As you can tell, right? Can you tell by this data set that 2 is definitely not in the middle, correct? 2 is like way on the low end. So this is a prime example where mode is sometimes, let's not use the mode. It's not really the best. Okay. Go ahead. But mode is extremely useful in some instances, especially if you're a business owner. So let's go down here. So mode is not always does not always lie in the center. But a store owner could use the mode to find out which t-shirt is the most popular. Right? So let's say you're selling shoes. You're selling shoes, right? So you're selling size 9, size 8, 7, 5, 10, 11, 12. Like if you're like me, 14. I know. It's very hard for me to get shoes. But it's all over the place. And let's say you do the average of that, and your average comes out to be 6.75. Like, I can't order 6.75. That's not a size, right? So you would rather go with your mode, and you would probably say, hey, which shoe size is most popular? What do you think is the most popular shoe size? I don't know. I'm thinking between 7 and 9. I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe less than that. But that's always a size that goes quick, right? So the mode has its uses, but it's not always the middle. You just got to remember that. Okay. if a pizza store wants to have like what's the most popular topping, right? They're probably going to go with mode on that one. Okay, so what I want you to do, pay close attention to this because I'm actually giving you class time, so I don't want you to waste it. Okay, meaning, i.e., don't be on your phone the whole time. I have various data sets. They all have units attached to them. Okay, and watch C has some negatives. Okay, have some negatives. So you need to find the MCTs. Okay, so go to the top of this page on page 6. Mean, median, mode. I want you to know that these are MCTs. These are the measures of central tendency. Okay, and because it's Monday, I'm going to be nice and I'm going to start it off for you. You need to arrange your data set. And I'm telling you, this is a small data set. I'm going to give you 20 sometimes. So this is what I would encourage you to do, okay? Arrange it right off the bat. Like, Mrs. Erickson, why would I arrange it? It's too small. I just know it. Please don't do that. Don't go into the lazy tendency, okay? I'm not calling you lazy. Settle down, okay? We all have that tendency. So can I just suggest something? You pick the smallest number, cross it off, write it down. What's the next one? Anyone? 3? Yeah. So I'm going to cross 3, write it down. 6, cross it, write it down. 7, cross it, write it down. You get the picture, right? 8, and then 12, and then 19. If you don't do the crossing off, I can almost guarantee you that you're going to make a mistake because sometimes there's going to be doubles or triples, right? So you might miss one of them because I got 19 already, I got it. Meanwhile, there's 3 19s in the set, right? So, and then another thing I want you to do is check. Count by twos, right? 2, 4, 6, 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. So I have 7 values. So another way to kind of reassure me I'm doing things right. Now you can find the mean, median, and what did I say? Mode, sorry. Mean, median, mode. Tell me what that is. It's already arranged, so the median should be easy for you to do at this point. And that's, for now, that's it. So for the top one here, all I would expect you to do there is add up your values. And then, right, including 0, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers that you're considering. So that's 7.86 hours. This is on page 6. Okay. Your mode, you could say none or not applicable. And the median, well, you may have to do a little bit of work there. 7, that's odd, right? So odd. So I'll go 7 divided by 2, that's 3.5, which is the 4th value, is your median, right? So we're going to use that to come up with this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's 7 hours is our median. Okay. So that's how you do that one. Next, I'm going to just arrange it here. I'm just copying it straight off of my key here because I'm hoping you already did this. Are we good? So I arrange it like that. I count 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. So I have 8 values in both. Let's do the average first. You add them all up. You get 1,099 divided by 8. That's 137.38 centimeters. You don't know what that is, right? Is that how much snail travels per day? I don't know. We have no idea. The median, we need to do a little bit of work here. So we know that this is even. So we're going to go 8 divided by 2, right? Which tells us that we need to take the 4th
and the fifth, and divide that by 2. So let's go over to our set. So 1, 2, 3, fourth, and fifth, they're both 129. So technically, this is irrelevant. It's going to be 129, right? So we get 129 centimeters. What's your mode? In this case, it's 112 centimeters. Quick question. 1 mark on a test quiz AC. If I asked you, what does that mean, 129? What does it mean? It means that half of our values are below 129 and half of our values are above 129. If I give you even more information, you should be able to tell me half of the time the snail travels less than 129 centimeters and half of the time more. I need you to understand that, right? So why don't we put a little note here? Half of values above and half below 129 centimeters, right? That's what that is saying. If I ever ask you to explain it, what does the mode tell us? That most of the time the snail traveled 112 centimeters. That's what that tells us, right? So I kind of expect you to know that. One last one, just for fun. This one I'm actually curious to see how you did on this one. I would make sure I pay attention if you didn't get to it. So you arrange it from smallest to greatest. Your average, this is where it comes in. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. If you have one of these calculators, you should have no issues with it. Watch, you just go -7, -4, -2, -2, +3, +3, +5, +7, +12. You enter it exactly the way you see it here. You get a sum of 15. You divide that by 9, you get 1.67 degrees Celsius. It's positive, right? Because I ended up with a positive here. There will be a question down the road where you do get a negative. What's your mode here? -2 and 3. Median? Have a good day. The key is online, okay? The median is 3 degrees Celsius. Have a good one, guys.